Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chelsea Perspective. And today I have with me in the studio Lionel Joel. Lionel, I'd have you introduce yourself by yourself because you do a better job than I can introducing you.
Right. Yeah. Hi, I'm Lionel. I've just recently started. I've been a Chelsea fan my whole life, for as long as I can remember. So it's kind of a natural thing for me to go into doing Chelsea videos, talking about, my favorite players, how the team is doing, screaming and shouting when we lose, and being super happy when we win. So I have a channel, Lionel Joel. You can find me there where I do reviews. I look at pre and post match. Right now, as we're going into the Euros, I'm doing some Euro stuff. So yeah, there's just a bunch of content being done on that channel. So feel free to come and join me if you'd like. And also, thanks for having me, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's it's a pleasure having you. I've followed you for quite a long time right now, and I've known found out myself that you're very knowledgeable of the club and football as a whole. So it's a pleasure to have you on my channel to talk transfer, specifically the rumored transfer of Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund to Chelsea. So we're going to talk about the rumored transfer fee and also the wage demands. So we start by let's talk about his starts this in 2020-2021 season. In the Champions League, I think in 8 games he scored 10 goals, which is around you can say around almost 1 goal per game, and that's not an easy achievement. And in the Bundesliga, he scored I think 27 goals, and also he contributed defensively, and I think that's not easy to see from an attacking talent like Erling Haaland to contribute defensively, and he's done quite well helping the team to defend and not just score goals. So we start by talking about the rumored transfer fee. What do you think about the rumored transfer fee, which is it's being talked about is around 150 million pounds or so? You haven't Go ahead.
It's interesting for me. Obviously, the money's not coming out of my pocket, so it's hard to kind of just say, go out and do it. Which, I mean, if it was me personally, and I could guarantee that we're gonna get the Erling Haaland that we have seen for the past 2 seasons, or when he was, in Austria. Also, if we can guarantee that that's what we're gonna get in the Premier League, which I think is we're gonna get pretty much that. I would go for it. I think there's only 2 strikers in the world right now that I would, break out the war chest for, and that would be Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. Obviously, with Harry Kane, it's a bit more. It works more because he's proven in the Premier League. But I think Erling Haaland coming into this Chelsea side it's perfect because he's such a young talent. He's driven, he's strong, and that's kind of what we need. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but good players are nowadays worth a lot of money. So I think it's great. Yeah. I would do it.
Yeah, perfectly put. But you talked about Harry Kane being a proven Premier League striker. But the truth is, I think we've had a proven Premier League talent before who, after switching from Liverpool to Chelsea, didn't really live up to the hypes, if you want to put it that way. So that's not guaranteed. Plus, Harry Kane is 28, 29.
Mm-hmm.
So he just has about, let's say, about just a few years, in him to give. But for Erling Haaland, how old is he again? He's 20 or so.
21, I think, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so he's the guy. He still has a long way to go in his career, and which means even if it doesn't deliver in his 4th year at Chelsea, should we sign him, we can be patient and wait, because we've seen him perform at such a high level and broken so many records also. Yeah, but the truth is, like you said, the money is not coming from your pocket, so you would spend it, and given his talent and the quality that he will bring the team, I mean, it's worth it. But the truth is, we all know who Marina is, she probably most definitely will go for a bargain. And I can assure you that if at the end of the day we sign Erling Haaland, it will not be anything close to 150 million, because she's proven she's done that before, and I don't think it's going to be different this time. So are you confident? Because we've had cases, so many cases where we've paid so much money for attackers. They've come in and they didn't live up to expectations, and you can say they all failed. All record-breaking signings, number nines at Chelsea, have all failed. That includes Alvaro Morata, Fernando Torres, and Andrei Shevchenko. But the case of Torres, you can say he somewhat redeemed himself in the 2020, maybe 2019 2011, 2012 Champions League edition, because she contributed to the whole team, to the team performance. And in the final, it was his effort that led to the corner, which Juan Mata took, and Didier Drogba got us an equalizer. So I haven't learned. I believe, to me, it's a lesson as a person. Although, like you said, the money is not coming from our pocket; it is from the club. So, are you confident that should we pay 150 million for Erling Haaland, that if he comes to Chelsea, that he will deliver, notwithstanding the hefty fee, the 150 million that will, or something close to that? Because no matter what happens, the sign-in fee will probably be something north of $100 million, pounds, so to speak.
So from what I've seen from Erling Haaland, every time I see him play, right, he reminds me of a Diego Costa, and if we look at strikers, like you perfectly put, we've had number nines come in like Fernando Torres, Morata, and Shevchenko that have been, less than what they promised us they would be. But I think if we look at outside of Drogba, if we look at Diego Costa, was probably our best number nine outside of Drogba, right? In the time
and he didn't cost that much.
Yeah,
we didn't spend that much. Yes,
but I see those same qualities that Diego Costa had in Erling Haaland. So I see a finisher. I see someone strong. I see someone that's going to annoy defenders. I see someone who he's going to be in the English press all the time, because a lot of defenders are going to be talking about how he's annoying and how he pushes them around. And he's so young, and he's been doing that in the Bundesliga. And if you look, because my reference is always when I speak about this issue is, if you look at Timo Werner, because Timo Werner had it so easy in the Bundesliga, right? Like he scored many goals, he looked like the top striker and all of these things, and he comes to Chelsea and his first season is not that great. Okay, we give him time, but and a lot of people are like, okay, but that shows that the Bundesliga is a weaker league than the Premier League. So Erling Haaland might come, and it might be the same thing. And this is why that's the reason why I disagree with that notion, because I think he's hungry. I think he all he cares about is scoring. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how it happens. He wants the ball. He demands the ball. And also, what I've noticed, just to quickly wrap up my long answer.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Everything you're saying makes perfect sense, and you're all actually bringing to light some aspect of this game that I never thought about discussing with you. So just go ahead.
Right. So I'm looking at the team that I'm going to talk from when Tuchel came in, right? Obviously, Lampard stuff, we try and forget that. We love Lampard, but as a coach, it just didn't work out towards the end. We understand that. We move on. But since Tuchel came, right, the first few games obviously were amazing, and my biggest issue with the Chelsea team is the first time ball. right? I've watched a lot of games where I sat in front of the TV and I'm supporting my team, and Timo Werner makes a run, or Kai Havertz makes a run, and there isn't that first time ball. That first time ball isn't given. And I feel like the difference between a Timo Werner and an Erling Haaland is that although Timo is not that vocal, so he's not going to go up to the midfield and say, guys, give me the first time ball. He's gonna sulk, he's gonna put his head down, walk around, and carry on running as Timo Werner does. But I feel like an Erling Haaland would walk into that dressing room and say, Mount, Kai, Pulisic, whoever, if you see me running, push the ball forward immediately. And and if you look at our goal in the Champions League final, that's exactly what it was. It was Mason Mount getting the ball, looking up, and giving it first time to Kai Havertz.
Who asked for it, and Kai asked for it. He was punting where he needed the ball.
Right, exactly. So, and it's something that we need, constantly. And I feel like a striker like Erling Haaland will be able to demand that, because sometimes as a striker, I feel you have to have these conversations with your midfielders without making them feel lesser than. And I feel like Erling Haaland would be the perfect example to say, look, this is what I was doing in Dortmund. I had Jude in the back that would give me through balls immediately when I asked for it. Ruiz would do the same thing. That's all I'm asking for from you guys, and the rest I will finish off. So that's why I strongly believe that this is the finishing touch to this Chelsea team. I think there's other sections that we might need to tweak and maybe sell and change, but I would take this exact same team plus Erling Haaland to do damage in the Premier League and the Champions League next season.
Wow, I am really, really glad that I'm having this conversation with you, because your responses have been spot on and you've brought to light some aspect, like I told you before, some aspect of his play that I didn't have, I didn't have in my list of items to discuss with you. So it makes perfect sense, and I'm happy that we're having this conversation. So let's move on to his wage demands. It's been rumored that he's demanding for 300K per week, and that's a lot of money. And I don't think there's any player currently at Chelsea that earns up to that amount. And my concern is that I've always heard this concern whenever we talk about player wages and something like that, because when it comes the time to renew the contract of other players at the club, players who are doing well will most definitely demand something close to, or if not something better than what that is the highest paid player at the club is earning. So are you concerned about the salary demand or the wage demand at all?
No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like if you look at big clubs, if you look at the top clubs in the world, most of them, if not all of them, have a player that demands huge wages, and they demand those huge wages because they deliver. And I think Erling Haaland has shown and proved so far in his short career that he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better, right? If I think you look at the likes of Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is an amazing player, he's a talented player, but when Chelsea made the purchase, yes, they understood that he was going to be a generational talent and that he was only going to get better with age, but it still wasn't proven to the point that Erling Haaland has done, and especially in the Champions League. And although we won it this year, I still believe that is Roman's number one thing to win every single time is the Champions League. So if this boy come and score 10, 12, 15 goals every season that we get into the Champions League, he can do the same in the league and score 20. I mean, as you know, we had our highest scorer this season was 7 goals or something like that, and that was Jorginho's penalties. So
all from the spot.
Right. And you can see that a number 9 like that is needed. And we need someone that's proven. And if he asks for 300, I understand that it's a lot of money and we've been through this before. But if you look at the Moratas, how Morata plays, you look at how Fernando Torres played or Shevchenko played, they're more relaxed strikers for me, right? They're more like cute touches in the box. Morata was very good with the head, so Fernando Torres could run, around a defender type thing. Erling Haaland will bulldoze his way through whatever defense is needed, and that's what Chelsea Football Club needs. We need the second coming of a Diego Costa. If you look at the gameplay of Drogba and the years that he played, he made sure he bullied his way into defenses, and that is worth 300K in my opinion. So yeah, I'm totally for it.
Understood. So overall, your argument that he's a player that he's in the mold of a hybrid of Diego Costa and Didier Drogba. Yeah, right. Because and that's arguably that's the truth, because I've followed him for quite a while. Go ahead.
And he's quicker than both of them. So this is the thing with Erling Haaland, which is interesting, is that because he's so tall and so big, you underestimate his pace. So when Dortmund are on the counter attack, you see how he moves, the quickness from how he gets from one box to the other. Man, I would give him everything. Like I would honestly give him everything he offers. I know it's a lot of money.
I understand your excitement, and the truth is he's worth it. But let's look beyond his worth. Let's look beyond the fact that he's worth 300K a week, because he can deliver. He's proven that he can deliver in all circumstances, because he broke a record in the Champions League and also in the Bundesliga, right? So now, let's take a step back and look at clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona. They are, in some way, you can argue they are in financial crisis somewhat, or maybe if not full-blown financial crisis. Now, and one of the reasons why they are having such financial issues is because of player wages.
Right, true.
So are you not concerned that if we start, and hopefully if we start paying players that much money, 300K a week, and then other players whose contract is coming around, contract renewal is coming around soon, want something on a par with Erling Haaland, should we sign him? And even new players want even more money or something close by, because we have players, somebody like, for instance, Mason Mount, who's been in phenomenal form for the club. Soon, the club will be talking about renewing his contract, and you will sign Erling Haaland and start paying him 300K a week. When it's time to renew Mounts and Rudiger, Christensen, when it's time to renew their contracts, they've performed. They've shown you that they can do it, and they know you want them to stay at the club. They will most definitely demand something close to what the highest paid player at the club will be earning, or even in most cases, some may demand something higher. Are you not concerned that will lead to us having the same problem as Real Madrid and Barcelona in the future?
No, I'm not worried about that, because for a few things. Starting off with, I think Marina is able to keep those checks and balances, and also something that's important. Unfortunately, and I love Mason Mount and Rudiger and all that they bring, but they can be replaced. Right? That's that because Mason Mount is not, like, as amazing as he is. Mason Mount is not going to score 20 goals a season for Chelsea Football Club, right? Neither is Rudiger, neither is Pulisic, neither is anyone in that roster. That's what we were hoping from maybe a Timo Werner, but that seems unlikely, right? We're hoping that he gets back to his best, but I don't see Timo Werner scoring 20 goals or being in the Golden Boot title race with the likes of Mo Salah and Harry Kane, right? But someone like Erling Haaland can demand those type of wages because he's going to deliver, and he's going to deliver on the highest stages, right? I honestly couldn't imagine Mason Mount sitting down with Marina and the board and saying, "Oh, okay, I'm signing my new contract. I want 300K." They would ask him, "What for?" Like, what? Why do you think that you deserve 300K? So that's, for me, that's just it's not a worry for me, because I understand that. I hope that some of these players can understand that there's levels, there's a difference to these things, and it's important to kind of, for everyone to be part of a team and to work as one unit. Everyone needs to play their part. Everyone needs to stay in their lane. Everyone needs to understand that, yes, there are going to be some people that are paid more than me, but at the end of the day, I can try and negotiate my best price. If I get a little more than I'm getting now, then fantastic, and we move on. I don't think any of the players are going to cause an uproar and say, "Oh, but Erling is earning 300K if he's scoring 20-25 goals a season for Chelsea." That's just what I think about that situation. So
definitely, your point is clear, and I understand where you're coming from. But hopefully, Marina, as we know, she can be brutal in terms of negotiations, and I do believe it will not end up being 300K a week. There has to be some aspect of the contract that Erling Haaland, must meet before he earns that much money weekly. And like you said, she will balance the books and all that, and then ensure that player wages are not blown out of proportion, and then because of financial issues for the club. Yeah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, and also, to be honest, because every time I read about this Erling Haaland situation, like, different people have different numbers of what's going on. First, it's 150, then it's 180, then the wages are 300. I think a lot of that is a tactic from Dortmund, because Dortmund are sitting in the driver's seat right now, right? They're saying to Chelsea, we don't need to sell him. We have Champions League next season.
It's their product, so they're the ones they are. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So they understand that, okay, we're in the driver's seat and Chelsea needs to come to us, right? So it's easy for them to put out numbers in the media, send them out and say, okay, these are these crazy wages, and he needs to pay this to his agent and his dad and all of these things, which I do understand it's going to be a lot of money, but I definitely think that there can be some negotiations, because it was the same thing with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, apparently, his old club was like 80 million or nothing, right? And Marina got, she did what she did. The board did what they did, and they managed to bring that price down, even if it was just by a little bit. So I do believe that a lot of this, like, information that's in the media is Dortmund driven. It's good PR. Yeah, exactly. It's good PR on Dortmund's side, because either way they win, right? Both ways they win. If he goes, we have 150 million in the bank. We can go and buy the new talent that someone else is going to want in 3 years. If they don't come, okay, cool. We'll have him for another a season. Maybe we can win something next year with him, and then he can go for 73 million. And that's just what it is. So so I think there's also a need to look at this type of, like you said, propaganda that's being put out by Dortmund, just to make sure that their most prized and special asset can leave on their terms or stay the way they want him to stay.
Yeah, very well put, because clubs do have access to the media. They can just push whatever they like, push it out to help influence their negotiation capabilities and make the most and get a sizable fee from the sale of a play. Makes sense. And there are concerns also within the fan base that Chelsea should move quickly and sign him before Man United signs Sancho, completes the signing of Sancho, because there are rumors that they're almost done with the process of securing his signature. That the reason being that the moment United signs Sancho, that it's going to be difficult for Dortmund to let Haaland go, because they would not want to sell two of their most prized assets in the same window. What do you think about that notion?
I think the longer the negotiations, I think whoever has that feeling is right. I think the longer the negotiations go on with Dortmund, and it's looking at this point like Man United and Dortmund are kind of at a 10 million a standoff. Like Dortmund wants 10 million, 10 million more, sorry, and United are refusing to add to their original offer and all that. I think because of I'm just seeing from experience. So if we look at the way Dortmund behaved with Sancho last season, and we take that into consideration when we talk about this situation. So that means that if Dortmund sells Sancho to Man United and the Chelsea deal still hasn't gone through, it's going to become tougher for Chelsea to get him. I do believe that is a factor. But I think with the amount of money that Chelsea are looking at spending on Erling Haaland, it might not be such a big deal at the end of everything because of how much it is. I mean, the Dortmund situation was 100. They wanted 110 or something, and United weren't willing to do that. And now we're talking about 150, 160 million. That's a lot of money to say no to, right? That's a lot to say no to. I mean, like you said, people are right to feel that way, but I don't think at the end it's going to be such a big deal if Chelsea are willing to spend that much. That
highlights the fact that there are two ways Sancho sale to Man United can affect Erling Haaland's potential move from Dortmund to Chelsea. One is if he leaves to United before Chelsea, if Sancho leaves for United before Chelsea completes the signing of Erling Haaland, two things are possible. Dortmund might refuse to sell, or they will sell, but it has to be Chelsea would have to break the bank to get them to sell. That's how I see it. So moving on now. This we know that in football, in the transfer market, anything can happen. Nothing is certain until it is finished, and you cannot say, well, Chelsea have signed Erling Haaland, they are negotiating. There's been situations where players are on the verge of putting pen to paper, and the whole thing just, comes crashing. So I have a question for you.
Right.
And I'm not by any chance pessimistic.
Okay.
I am optimistic.
Right.
So, but the truth is, anything can happen. If by any chance the deal falls through,
right, which is a high possibility.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I hope it doesn't happen. Do you have any other player in mind? I wouldn't want to say cheaper alternative. Any other player in mind you think Chelsea can get that can equally help the club solve the goal scoring issues that we've had in the past few months?
No, I think my simplest answer to this is we wait it out. I think I don't want Chelsea to spend another cent on a mediocre striker and hope that something happens. And no. I think for this position, because we've suffered for so long with the same position since Drogba left, we had a nice period when Diego Costa came in and he was doing what he did until it went sour and he wanted to leave and all of this. We've done too much spending, like 50 million here and 50 million there, and on these players that have just come and been mediocre. We need the talent. We need the biggest, brightest. Right. We need the biggest name. We need the most wanted. And that's just how I feel about that situation. So if this deal doesn't go through this summer, which it's so strange to me, actually. I like, because I cannot understand how Dortmund would pass up 150, 160 million just to sell him for 73 when his release clause is triggered next season. I really, like, it baffles me. I understand that they're competing with Bayern Munich and they want to win things, but it just doesn't make sense. It's a lot of money to say no to, so I don't understand why they would do it. But knowing Dortmund, they have their reasons and they can do whatever they want. But yeah, I don't. I mean, there are strikers out there, but the only one that's of note is going to cost us around 150 million, and that's Harry Kane. And like you said,
which I don't see happening. It's going to be very difficult.
Right, and if by some miracle Daniel Levy is like, okay, fine, you can go to Chelsea, he's got 3 years, 4 years maybe at like the top level, and it'll just look like a waste of money if we're spending 150 million for 4 years. But with Erling Haaland, we can spend 160 million and have him until he's 28, 29, or and decides, what, I want to go to my childhood dream club, Real Madrid, like Hazard did, right? As sad as it to see, we got the best years out of Hazard. He might, have a bit of a bounce back at Real Madrid, but he will never be the Hazard that we had for 7, 8 years that he was at the club.
So, that's the truth. He will never be the Hazard that we had at Chelsea. That's the truth.
Right. So having Erling Haaland come in at 21, right? I think that's an investment. Look, to be honest, I think this Chelsea team maybe needs three marquee signings to be dominant for the next 10 years, maybe. I'm looking at Erling Haaland up front. We had Declan Rice to play, because we all love N'Golo Kante, but he's reaching he's the end of like his career at the top flight, right? I think he's got maybe 2-3 years left in him, but we need someone that can come in and replace him. So I'm looking for a Declan Rice to get in there now, especially just to start of kind of playing off N'Golo Kante, learning from him, so that our next few steps forward, we have
so that the transition to another person, that is from Kante to the person, will be seamless. We don't have to wait until his career comes to an end, or until he starts to underperform before we start looking for a replacement.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes sense. But let me rephrase this question. Yeah. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, I was going to say, I was just talking about the 3 marquee signings that we need, and we need a defender, right? A young defender, right? Those 3, I think those 3 positions, or those 2 players and 1 more defender would see us being dominant, at least challenging for the league, challenging for the Champions League, and going out and trying to win as many trophies as we can, at least minimum for the next 10 years. Because if you look at the age range of, the likes of Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Reece James, Andreas Christensen, and so on and so forth, you have a lot of youngsters. So that's why for me this signing is so important. That's why going for Erling Haaland and spending that much money, we're getting almost 10 years, or let's say if he decides to leave, we're getting at minimum 7 years of this player being at the highest level. I think it's worth it.
And given his age, given he's just 20 or so, if he decides to move on in 2, 3, 4 years, he will still have great selling value. So it makes sense, and hopefully, but like we've said in the start of the show, that I don't think Chelsea will pay 150 million for him. There's a chance that Marina will negotiate a lower fee, even lower than most people will believe that she can, because she's done it before, and I believe she'll probably do it again. And hopefully the whole thing works out for the club, because I'll be happy if we can get it done. We're just having a conversation and seeing things from different perspective, from financial perspective, and also other aspect that makes sense. So that's why we're here to entertain the fans and also educate them, and also from our discussion answer some of the questions that they may have. So let me rephrase that last question. Maybe that will help get the answer, not really the answer I want from you, or maybe help you to better understand what I'm really trying to say. Okay, should the deal fall through?
Right. You want a name, yeah?
Should the deal fall through? There are names that are cheaper alternatives. Let me put it that way. And you say we wait it out. That was the way you put it. But while we wait, is there any striker out there that you think can get the job done while we wait to still land our man? Because the truth is, I want Haaland at Chelsea. He's still young. Even if he underperforms, if we sign him and he underperforms in his first year at Chelsea, that's not a problem. It happens. We can be patient, give him a second, give him time to adapt to the Premier League, and then be well integrated into the team, because that can take time too. It takes exceptional talent. Yeah, you can argue exceptional talent as him to come in and hit the ground running immediately. So should the deal fall through, do you have any striker in mind? Cheaper alternative may be, because if we're going to wait for him, if we should decide to wait it out, we'll most definitely not spend big on a striker. We will find something that can help us. You can put it this way: somebody that can help hold the fourth while we, plan on how we can get him to come to Chelsea.
Yeah. Again,
difficult one for you.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a name, because I'm so dead set on us not spending money on anyone if their last name is not Haaland or Mbappe. Or
I have to be honest with you, I'm like that. But like I said, we're having this conversation to educate fans, answer some of the questions that they may have, and this is entertainment. But we just have to be. We just have to be truthful in whatever we say. We'll just have to look at things from different perspectives, So go ahead.
I would, looking to start off by answering your question, I'd say we should look within the UK, within England. If we're gonna go for another striker, I know, like you said earlier, like Fernando Torres came from Liverpool and it didn't work out, but I think there's a better chance of a successful striker or someone holding down the fort till we sign Haaland, that has played in the Premier League before and understands the game. So I'm looking at guys like Ollie Watkins at Aston Villa. I think he's been exceptional
this season.
Yeah, he's been exceptional coming in from the Championship, proving himself in big matches against the likes of Liverpool and Man City and all of these things. And I think a guy like him, because he's another one that you can see whenever he plays, he's hungry. He searches for the ball. He demands the ball. And and you're looking at guys like Danny Ings, who's a great finisher. I would prefer Ollie in place of Danny Ings, because I just feel like Oli gives you more of versatility, right? And that's what I think Thomas Tuchel is looking for in his, next player, attacking players, is versatility. Are you able to spend 5 minutes on the wing if needs be and let Werner come in? Or, are you able to interchange with Kai Havertz? So I think Ollie Watkins would be my number one look, my number one choice. But again, I'm sure Aston Villa would give us a headache trying to buy him. But that to give you a name, because otherwise, if you allowed me, I would have just been like, no, let's keep Tammy Abraham for another season.
Yes,
but yeah,
yes,
okay.
Interesting. I've had during a live stream that I had before, I have two people there, Bobby Smokey Screens, and also Declyde. Exactly your point. They say if we can't get him, then leave it and wait it out till we get it. And I am the same, but I can't just present content to my followers and then have my mind set on certain things. It has to be open. It has to be a debate somewhat, so that it makes sense, so that we see things from different perspectives and then evaluate the information we have and see, okay, or what do we think will happen here, or wait till we see what happens and see if our evaluation of the situation was right or something like that. So it's not, like I told you, the two of them, your point exactly. They don't want anybody else except Erling Haaland. So it's I mean, it makes sense. I'm the same with you, but like I said, it's a debate. You can't just present something to your followers with your mindset on on certain angle and not give it a look from a different angle. So Lionel, I sincerely do appreciate you finding the time to be here with me and present this transfer talk to the fans. It's been awesome to have you. And I will always reach out to you to see if you'd have the time to come on to our Chelsea Perspective all the time, because you've proven that you're knowledgeable of the game and the club. And I will always look to tap into your knowledge. And on a final note, do you have anything to say about the club's pursuit of Erling Haaland? Anything that concerning the rumored price tag and also the wage demands?
Yeah, my final thing is do whatever we need to. I think there's some players on the fringes that could go the other way. As much as I've grown to love Tammy, seeing him in the first team, as much as I'm even looking at guys like Pulisic, to be honest. I know that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
I said that in a video of mine recently, and some people weren't happy with me. But I think that we have suffered this issue of a number 9 for so long. I think last season in the transfer window, we did so well. I think Hakim, Kai, Timo Werner, Thiago Silva were amazing purchases. But now we need to go for the big one. We have to go for the big one. And it's whatever, anything that it takes. 300K, paying off his agent, paying his dad, pay everybody. Just get him to wear that Chelsea shirt. And for me, as a Chelsea fan who's loved this club all my life, that's all I want. I want the best, and this is the best guy right now. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Lionel. I thank you again for taking the time to answer that question, and it's been awesome having you on the show. Can you please one more time tell the viewers or the listeners who you are and how they can reach out to you, where they can find your content, and if you have anything coming out soon, please let them know.
Yeah, I'm Lionel. I'm just a normal dude that just loves Chelsea, and unfortunately, I don't have the luxuries of going to games every time. The last game I went to was the match that we lost against Liverpool in Istanbul, which was so sad. But yeah, I do videos on Chelsea and football in general. So look for my channel, Lionel Joel, on YouTube. You will see I've got a bunch of videos up right now. The following is getting better. I'm getting more views on my videos than I did 2-3 months ago. So that means that some people are liking what I do. And yeah, and my socials, I keep getting confused. I think my Instagram is Lionel J 13, and my Twitter is Lionel Joel 13, something like that. Yeah, so just let me know what you think of my videos. Jump in the comments if you have the time, and like you've been doing, thank you so much. You've supported me for so long. You're always commenting on my videos. I want to thank you for that. I'm glad that I can do this on your platform, because I think what you're doing is so amazing too. So
thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me, and I will always come back whenever you'd like me to.
Thank you very much, Lionel. Thank you again for taking the time to give the viewers your information. And I come to your channel, I interact with your content. Because I love what you do. I've watched your videos. I'm not just doing it for the sake of it. I do it because I love your content. And
thank you.
Hopefully, please find time to go check out his channel. And if you love what you see, like, comment, share his videos, and also subscribe and click on the notification button so that you will be notified whenever he uploads a new video. And do the same here on Chelsea Perspective. Like, comment, share the videos, and also subscribe, click on the notification button so you don't miss anything. Again, Lionel, it's a pleasure to have you, and I look forward to working with you again. Cheers, my friend.